Shalom. Want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakhakodash. Double honors the apostles and those of great Masona, salutation to 144,000 men, 1/3 men, women, children left to be saved. This brother Yausa from GMS Guyana, YouTube channel, Nabaah IL-Mawath, which is Hebrew for prophesy unto death, right? So, I just like a few minutes ago watched his brother lesson, which he uploaded 20 minutes ago. You control who has access to you, and just the other night I was telling somebody that people that are energy vampires, and while I was doing some looking for a photo suitable for this lesson, I didn't realize that there's people who actually write a book or certain quotes or whatever about it, and and this brother went into being a gatekeeper of your own life, your own house, and so forth. Now obviously you can't rebuke everybody and be a hermit and just be by yourself and so forth, but you try the spirit and you moderate the access of your life. You don't go talking certain personal things and so forth, or you don't do certain things in front of certain people. All that is levels of access. And the spirit guided me to do this lesson. And they say strike while the iron's hot, but we're trying to strike until the iron gets hot. So he read the definition. You could watch this lesson and so forth and be further edified, but this is just me expounding further on the lesson and so forth. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7. It says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee." So as a man thinketh, so is he. So you can tell a man how he thinks by the things he say and the things he do. Now we might slip with our mouth and so forth. We might or we might think whether 2/3 and 1/3 of Israel. But as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. A man, you might eat and drink with a man, but his heart is not with thee. When it says heart, his mind, which is love. He might portray the idea of being a friend with you or looking out for you and so forth, but his intent is his own self-gain, its own manipulation or whatever, because 2/3 of Israel are not examining themselves, whereby if you with a brother eating a drink with you, his spirit gonna be lighter, and the spirit gonna show you whether you could trust this brother or not and so forth. It's expounded, but that's why we moderately watch our associations. Not moderately, Slakia. We diligently watch our association and moderately analyze who we should have around in our lives, on how much degree, so forth. And even the Apostle Gabar once said that he find himself keeping to himself a lot, because niggas out there crazy, niggas out there doing the most. So let me put up this picture. Let me close that off. I like put up these pictures. Right? Yeah. Oh, let me just show real quick. This is the brother's channel. Spirit Wind Judah. All right, GMS Mississippi. Yeah. The next precept is Sirach chapter, and this is just one account. There's many other accounts, This is Sirach 13:1, he that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith, and he that hath fellowship with a proud man shall be like unto him. Right, so if you have fellowship with a proud man, you can be like unto that man. You know, eventually you can start rubbing off you, because what the scripture says. Let's get it real quick. This is Sirach 27:9. It says, the birds will resort unto their like, so will truth return unto them that practice in earth. That's one of them. And where is it? Yeah, it was right in Sirach 13, my bad. Sirach 13:16, that was in 29. All flesh concerted according to kind, and a man cleaveth unto his like. You see that? It was right here earlier time, my bad. So let's read it. Verse 2 of Sirach 13 says, burden not thyself above thy power while thou livest, and have no fellowship with one that is mightier and richer than thyself. Now, we ain't saying that, you know, you're not associate yourself with your boss but you have. That's why we try the spirit. You know, we try the spirit and see which spirit leads you and what you need to learn, because the elect and the 2/3, the elect and 1/3 is scattered all over. So we don't know if the Most High might introduce us to. Now, if the Most High will introduce us to the elect and can make certain connections, you learn that all things are connected, all things are spiritual, right? It says, richer than thyself, for how agree the kettle and the earthen pot together, for if one smiteth against the other, it shall be broken. So a man richer and mightier than you could bring certain thoughts in your head. Say, for example, you see this man prospering, and you feel that, you know, I going through all this and this man doing well and so forth. You start to feel that the Most High does suffering, making you suffer intentionally, you know. But you gotta cut that spirit and so forth. Just an example to give you an idea of how these things can affect you. Sometimes the richer man might want to disrespect you, and you know, you trying to, you know, live peaceable with all men, but then eventually becoming a man pleaser and so forth. It's all about moderation and reading the spirit and judging, using discernment to judge correctly. All right. It says same thing goes with a mighty man, a man who, you know, with strength or power. It says, a rich man hath done wrong, yet he entreateth withal. The poor is wrong, he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Yeah, so sometimes we might work at a certain place and you're just feeling like exploited. I mean, that's all part of the persecution. But scripture says that if you go into if you go into a town and they receive you not, you know, kick the dust from your foot and move on. So if you go into a certain job and the scripture said the Most High won't give you more you can bear, and you find that it taken away from doing the works, taken away from you studying and so forth, the Most High would move you. The Most High would put in your spirit whether to find another alternative to gain your daily bread, you know. It says, verse 5, if thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smite upon thee, and put thee in hope, and he will speak fair and say, what wantest thou? All right. And he will shame thee by his meats until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. You see that? So some people is gonna, just like this clip here. Slack your brother. Why is it not moving? It's supposed to be a gift for these guys draining energy from people, right? But I don't know why it's not moving. Well, let me see if I could do this. Just back this out here. Yeah. See that? It says, he will shame thee by his meat until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. Because the spirit, the men of the Lord have a certain spirit about them, and people are going to try to exploit us as much as they can and so forth. And that's basically this kingdom. They just want to, like Drake says, I got enemies that are trying to drain me of this energy. They're trying to, like the scripture said, they try to wear out the saints, they try to frustrate us and whatnot. All right? It says, he will shame thee by his meat until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice, and at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward, until when he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee. Beware that thou be not deceived and brought down in thy jollity. See that? So remember the scripture says, let me get it. It's been a while, I'll bring it up. Let me get it. 2:26. This is Ecclesiastes 2:26. For Yahweh giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he giveth travail. You see, the Most High gave it to a man that's good in his sight wisdom, knowledge and joy. So that joy, the wicked is trying to drain us of that joy, because the miserable, and what does it say? Misery love company, right? But to the sinner he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before Yahweh. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yeah, back to Sirach 13, or Ecclesiasticus. It says, beware thou be not deceived and be brought down in thy jollity. If thou be invited of a mighty man, withdraw thyself, and so much more will he invite thee. Press thou not upon him, lest thou be put in the back. Stand not afar off, lest thou be forgotten. So you see, it's a certain range. It's to be seen, but not to be unseen, right? It's like I said, it's what your parents used to say. You need to be seen and not heard, or something along the line. Verse 11 says, affect not to be equal unto him in talk, and believe not his many words. For with much communication will he tempt thee. Yeah, these people, they have a lot to say. And that they can try to tempt you. They have a lot to say. And smiling upon thee will he get out thy secret. So he can smile and try to befriend you and so forth. Because a smile is trigger that this person has it seems like they have a good intention. They're gonna laugh and whatnot. It says, but verse 12, but cruelly he will lay up thy words. I will not spare to do thee hurt, and to put thee in prison. Observe and take good heed, for thou walkest in peril of thy overthrowing. When thou hearest these things, awake in thy sleep. All right, so with that, I pray that this was edifying. I want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakwadash. And there's other precepts. For example, when that prophet was sent to visit this king, and the Lord told him to go one way in and come out another way, and not to turn back the same way, and eventually another prophet end up getting killed because of disobedience. So Lord willing, I might do another lesson on that. Then there's another precept in Matthew 2 that the Spirit showing me. And I pray that this is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakwadash. Double R and C apostles and elders of great in the soul and citation 144,000 men, the 1/3 men, women, and children. Ahbad Babal, Ahbad Babal, Ahbad Babal.